Smedley Butler has been confirmed as a cointelpro agent. What brought this to my attention yet again was stumbling onto a thread at something called Reddit Chapo Trap House. It seems to be based on a podcast that I don't listen to. I've never listened to it. I don't know what it is. It seems to be left wing into Bernie territory, at least. They are spinning Smedley as a leftist, as a socialist. I recall back in the day that disinfo trolls would try to spin Mike Rivero of What Really Happened and Alex Jones of InfoWars Prison Planet as left-wing. No, those are right-wing traditional conspiracy theorists. William Cooper was the same guy, the same schmuck. I left a comment but doubt it is published. I'm not sure if I saw this before. It directly links Smedley Butler to J. Edgar Hoover. The source, Hans Schmidt, I don't know who that is. It's from a book called Maverick Marine, General Smedley D. Butler and the Contradictions of American Military History, from University Press of Kentucky, 1987. Here, I'll read. Smedley Butler and the FBI. Most surprising was Butler's reputation in the law enforcement community as an expert and proponent of state and federal constabularies, while he simultaneously expounded left-wing views on capitalism and imperialism. He frequently boosted the FBI as the shining example of how the federal government should respond to crime. Butler's FBI file contains a half-dozen reports by field agents who heard and often shared speakers' platforms with him during the late 1930s. Hoover sent Smedley thank you notes and invited him to tour the bureau in Washington. Butler often quoted Hoover in his speeches. Butler told a 1936 dentist convention in Chicago that the FBI was one of the few government departments which did not smell to high heaven. An FBI agent reported that the remainder of Smedley's speech, entitled The Munitions Racket, was rather radical. He castigated everybody from the president down, and particularly the present Secretary of War. The FBI was aware of the alleged 1934 Wall Street plot, but apparently did not investigate. In a curious sequel, while visiting the Bureau in 1936, Butler told Hoover about a plot by Father Charles Coughlin to invade Mexico to protect the Catholic Church from harassment. Smedley said that Coughlin, the famous radio priest whose voice he recognized, had approached him by telephone, and that the call was traced back to Coughlin afterward. It seems that Butler was being hoaxed. In any case, he was clearly wary of becoming involved in another publicized plot expose. Butler mentioned the Coughlin plot again to an FBI agent in 1940 in connection with what he termed dozens of screwball organizations that had invited him to appear as a speaker. Butler did turn over to federal authorities, like the Treasury Department Secret Service, literature that he received from some organizations. This is the stuff Snowden exposed. The conspiracy story program. Couldn't be more obvious. Here, I'll read the last paragraph that I have. And the screenshots are added to this video, so you can read it again at your own timing. Butler's affinity with Hoover reflected what historian Samuel Walker bemoaned as a trend toward highly centralized authority by which police executives were given almost complete discretion to do as they liked. Sound familiar? That's what we're going through today. It's the same schmuck. These are all the same schmucks. This was called right, woos, left. It's a smushing of boundary lines in a disinformation manner. It's spinning Bernie supporters as Trump supporters. Shite like that. Okay, back to the paragraph. I went on a digression. I do not want to simply read as video making. But this seems important. My intuition told me that Smedley Butler's story was too good to be true and it was a hoax.